Hello, welcome. My name is Caroline Allen. I'm here to do a tarot reading for the week of the inauguration. A little background on me and then we'll dive right in. I actually have not done the reading, so I'm going to be with you in the moment of doing the reading. For those of you who do not know me, I used to be a journalist. I worked in Tokyo and London and across Southeast Asia as a travel writer, and in Tokyo and London as a newsroom journalist. The last place I worked was the Financial Times in London. And at that time, it was the late 1990s, the veil descended spiritually for me. So the veil was, I was always intuitive, but never had I been so clearly psychic when that happened when I was at the Financial Times. It took 3 years for me to figure out what was happening to me. I could see so much more. I could read people's thoughts, but it wasn't just their thoughts. I could read their spiritual truth as well. I could see so much. I could go to a dinner party and turn to someone and talk to them in depth about their divorce when they had just decided to get one, had told no one, including their spouse. And it didn't make me very popular, so I had to learn to manage my ability to see, to understand that it hadn't been said out loud, that I had just read it on the person. So that took about 3 years. After that, I started writing fiction and reading tarot. And one night, I was given 5 books, 5 novels that talk about the evolution of the spirit from being connected to the depth of our ancestral training. So basically growing up and being trained a certain way, right? On what to believe and how to live. And that was Earth. Air, they're expat novels as well. Air is leaving home and starting to get perspective and starting to ask yourself, what do I want in my life versus what is society saying I should want? Fire is the burning of the ego, and this is based in Tokyo. This is Asia and London. And then finally, the most recently published one is based in Seattle, and it's about the healing of the authentic self and accepting, and the protagonist has to accept yourself as a mystic and an artist. It is semi-autobiographical. A lot of it is fiction as well, but it does deal with the evolution of the spirit. And I recommend them to anyone going through trying to figure out what the hell is going on right now. So with that said, we're going to dive into the reading. So this is a reading. Again, I haven't thrown the cards yet, so let's see what it says. I've called in the guides. I've asked the spirit guides to be present. I'm going to mix the cards, and I'm going to ask them again to help us understand this week of the inauguration, to help us understand ourselves, to help us have a deeper connection to spirit. We're calling on the guides to provide us with the information we need right now as a nation and as a planet, because it's not just Americans I know watching this YouTube channel. For the greatest and highest good, we invoke spirit to bless this reading and make the information clear and gentle for the greatest and highest good. Okay, here we go. So I'm throwing the cards in a traditional Celtic cross spread. I'll hold them up so you can see what they are as I'm reading them for the greatest and highest good. So it's really strong immediately. So what happens is, for those of you who are tarot students, you might look in your little books or your big books, and you might say, oh, she's interpreting that not in the way it's interpreted in the book. I've been doing this for 25 to 30 years. And I have a personal relationship with my spirit guides and with the cards. So just so you know, and I've read for many thousands of people. And if you go to carolineallen.com, if you want a reading, let me know. Okay, for the greatest and highest good, what it's saying is people don't know how powerful they are as individuals. You don't know how powerful you are as an individual. And we sit back and all we do is worry about toilet paper to wipe our butts, right? I'm going to go hoard toilet paper. We worry about things when that are small, when we're incredibly powerful. And what this reading is saying is it wants to talk about doing a ritual to own your power. So some of you who might be watching this are alternative, as I said, because I come from that journalism, not that very traditional journalism background. I have a lot of people as well that aren't necessarily really super into tarot who are listening to this. So do it however it feels comfortable to you. But what it's saying is to try to do a ritual to own your power. And so basically for those of you who do have your metaphysical altars, I have one here in the yurt. I'm in Oregon in my yurt art studio. And I will bring my, that I want to own my full creative power. And it's just talking about how do you own that full creative power. It's talking about doing a ritual. A ritual can be a simple thing of lighting a candle, burning some incense, and just speaking some words and saying, higher power, spirit, muse, whatever you want to call it, please help me fully step into and own my power. And then there are other things you can do too. It wants to talk about owning your creative power in multi-dimensional ways. So one is having a ritual. Another is, what does your space look like? What does your creative space look like? If you do not have a creative space and you're a creative person, create the space, even if it's just the corner of an apartment that you share with other people. Create the space. It wants you to re-engage that creative inner child. Some of you already are artists who are watching this. I know that because as an artist, I have a lot of artist followers. So it just wants all of us to look at blessing our spaces, re-engaging our creative spaces, doing a ritual, starting to explore new creative avenues that can unlock the creative doors. Study with somebody if you need to. I know that there are a lot of cheap online courses, and studying with someone doesn't mean, if you can't afford it, that you have to do a one-on-one thing, which can be expensive. You could do the courses, but start to enrich yourself. Start to feel the abundance of your soul. Start to re-engage the beauty of your space. It's basically saying the more we can surround ourselves with beauty and creativity and re-engage that beautiful creative inner child for those of you who feel stuck or depressed. Do whatever you can step by step to re-engage that creative inner self. It's beautiful, and we need to bring that abundance and full-hearted, full-souled energy to what's happening now. So it's the antithesis to the destruction, right? That's going on. So we build and build and build our inner abundance and our inner joy, and we have to do it. So the issue we're having, right, with the pandemic, I just went through the wildfires here in Oregon with the fear around violence, around politics and things like that, is that we're not getting from other people necessarily the enrichment and connection and emotional fulfillment that we are used to. So it wants you to fill up your own well, basically. Fill up your own well. Do a ritual. Get a creative space. Bless your creative space if you already have one. Go online and learn from someone, personally, something you want to learn that's creative. Or go online and take a course. Fill your well, fill your well. So it's talking about filling your well. And this, to me, with the cards that surround it, represents filling it through taking creative courses. We have, this was upside down, this is in the challenge position. So it's kind of talking about reparenting your inner child. So if you were a little girl and you were your own parent, think back to when you were a little girl. I'm doing it right now, and I was my own parent. What would I do for that child? Well, I would absolutely be giving her all the art supplies she needed. I would be watching the direction her art was going, and I'd be cultivating that for her by giving her the resources that she needed, age-appropriate resources. So it wants us to do the same for ourselves, to reparent and regrow your, and there's another one here. It's the same thing. It's saying, take this time to find ways to fill your own cup creatively. Okay, now I'm going to read the next section. Hold on just a second. Yeah, and it just says, you are creative beyond measure. You are a powerful force of creativity. And the more you express your creativity, the more you nurture it, the more you influence other people. So I'm also a coach, and I love coaching. I love it. But I have to tell you, the truth is, I help people more with my creative work, my art. I need a piece of art. Go with my art. Here we go. I help people more with my art and with my, okay, a little bit longer. It's my new, it's a new series I'm exploring. And I help people more with my writing than I do with direct coaching. My point being that if you're a coach watching this, kudos to you. You're doing a great job, but fill yourself up. Fill yourself up with creative force. You're a creative force. And when you do creative work, you influence people around you to do their creative work. And I actually believe if I were to define the word higher power, God, goddess, if I were to define that, I would define it as pure creativity. Because when we are purely creative, we take nothing and turn it into something. And that is the spirit force. That's the force of creativity that started this whole world, that evolves every tree. And that, to me, is the whole definition of spirit. So when you're doing your creativity, your spirit is growing other people. Okay? Don't wait for the love. This is the lover card. It's reversed. I know it's really hard. I'm single as well, so I want to say it to all my single friends out there, hello, and love you so much, and know that right now it's hard to date during a pandemic, and we shouldn't be sitting around waiting. I know a lot of women, it's really bad. Really, look me in the eye. It's kind of bad if you're just sitting around waiting for the relationship. It's not healthy. It's not real. It's like living in a non-real existence. So step up, get up. And if you're depressed and having a lot of anxiety right now, do one little thing. Just do one little thing. Watch one video that's artistic, creative, writing related. Do one thing. Start step by step. Okay. And then there's a card here I don't understand, so I'm going to pick another card. So this is the card. It's the 9 of Coins reversed. And then I picked the reversed King of Wands. He's the highest artist card in the deck. And so basically what I'm getting is if you're feeling drained and you don't have much energy, a lot of people I think are feeling drained, right? And they don't have much energy. If you're feeling like I can't do anything because I have nothing, it really is your creative self. Your creative self owning that and working on it will refill your cup so you're not so depressed and you don't have so much anxiety. This is the highest artist card in the deck, as I said. So it's saying creativity refills all of your cups. Creativity refills your cups and fills other people's cups, but you don't have to go out of your way to do that. Just do your own creative work. So that's the message today of your reading. You are a powerful force of creativity. I know because as a coach, I've worked as a tarot reader with probably 5,000 people all over the world. And then as a book coach, I'm a book coach as well with many hundreds and hundreds of people. I haven't counted those, both as a one-on-one coach and as a teacher of workshops. And I will tell you the creative force of each individual that I see through tarot and through book coaching is mind-blowing to me. It's bigger than any BS that's out there, any trauma that's out there. It's incredible and powerful and rich and sexy and amazing. And we just want you to know that's who you are. Refill your cup. And I'm going to recap on how to do that. We're going to make this about 15 minutes long. It's perfect. The recap is create a ritual around re-owning your creative power, however you see fit to do that. Some of us have altars, we light incense and a candle, and we just say a few words. Spirit, I really want to completely re-own my creative power. If you're feeling depressed and anxious, this creativity that you can do step by step, anything you can do step by step will refill your cup and make you feel less depressed and less anxiety and less drained. Number 2, ritual 1, 2, how would you reparent your child, your creative child? So imagine you're the parent of your little girl or little boy. What would you do to reparent them? And take that on. So for example, I'd reparent mine by giving her books on abstract art. So what I do is I go and to the library, I don't have to spend a dime, and get books on abstract art for myself as an adult to study. And I'm reparenting my inner child. Now I can't remember the other things I said. This happens with tarot. I get very spacey, so I'm trying to recap. But anyway, basically, do your creative work, do a ritual for your space, create space if you don't have it, reparent your inner child. You will feel that you will give it about 3 weeks, and you will start to see, oh my God, I feel so much better. Oh my God, I have so much more energy. And know that everything you do to refill your cup and be creative, even if you don't share it on social media, even if you do it privately, energetically, it starts to heal other people and fill them up. So you want to be the hero, right? We all have a heroic side, and we want to make a difference on this planet. I know I do. And sometimes we misunderstand that by going out and screaming because these people are screaming and we're trying to over scream them, or just, I want to make my point while they're making their point. Clash, clash, clash isn't necessarily what really creates transformation, is it? We know that, right? What really creates transformation is refilling your own cup. And especially if you're a creative type, doing the creative work step by step. If you're single, stop waiting for a relationship. Just get to work. And another final card it's saying is, with all of this, to get started, do try to get some time in nature, because nature fills you up just by your existence within it. Okay, I'm hoping that helps. I'm going to pick one more card as a final goodbye for the greatest and highest good. Is there anything else you would like to tell people right now? I'm picking it randomly. I'm going to look at it. Ooh, baby, darling. Okay, this is the High Priestess, and it was reversed. So not only are you the highest in creative person, this is the highest in spiritual card. High in creative, high in spiritual. So it's also saying, when it's reversed, we just need to own how spiritual we are. And a lot of people, I understand, I'm not saying if you're watching me read a tarot reading, you're probably into tarot readings. So an alternative, owning your spiritual power, is fantastic. But I'm the kind of person who believes whatever works for you, of course, whatever works for you. Going to church, Buddhism, for me it's metaphysical, mystical, Christian, Catholic, studying the tradition of Judaism, whatever it is that works for you and makes you feel the fullness of spirit. It's saying, yet again, we want to fight this battle, but yelling about it, which I'm seeing a lot of people do on social media, oh, so many people, God help us, isn't really going to make any difference whatsoever. I understand you're upset. We're all upset. Doing spiritual work, find your inner spiritual center and your spiritual power. Each one of us is profoundly spiritually powerful. Okay, thank you so much. Have a great week, and sending lots of good vibes out there to everyone. Thanks.